Hi there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah with Jujube Crafts and More. Today's video is a collaboration video. It's an open collaboration with Christi Creates and Kristin Kay, and this is the Chic for Cheap challenge. So make sure you go over and check out their YouTube channels, and let's get started. So here's my inspiration piece for the first one. I'm taking 2 of these Dollar Tree canvases. These are just, they're a little bit smaller, but they're about 8.5 by 8.5. And I'm just going to take the canvas right off of the frames. Real quick, I wanted to remind you to go and check out the playlist and see what everyone else has created in this Chic for Cheap challenge. The canvas stuff that they have on there is kind of a plasticky, and it actually is really kind of difficult to get off. So just take your time, I've got a box knife here that I picked up at Walmart, and just, be careful and try to get as much off as you can. And here I'm just using some scissors to break it up a little bit more and get it off. I wasn't too concerned about getting all the staples off of the back of it, but you definitely can if you want. But these frames are kind of flimsy, so they're just that pressed cardboard. Next, I'm just going to do a little light sanding just to get off any rough edges, and then I'm going to give it 2 coats of paint with Waverly chalk paint in white. And I'm going to do that to both frames. Once I was done, I just cut down some 5-gallon paint sticks with my miter box to create some more stability for these little frames, because like I said, they were very flimsy, and I wanted this to be able to hold stuff, not just light things. I wanted to be able to hold a little bit heavier items. So what I did is I just cut down those stir sticks, and I'm just going to glue them, 2 of them vertically, or in the same direction on one side of the frame. And I just use a hot glue for short-term hold, and then wood glue so that it'll stay for a good long time. Next, I'm cutting out some foam core board that I'm just going to put right into the little frame, and this is going to create the base for our little trays. Next, I picked out some scrapbooking paper that I had in my stash, and I'm just cutting that down to size. So because these frames are kind of, never mind. First, we're gonna glue in the foam core board, and I'm just using hot glue here to glue this in, because it does fit in there snugly, and I'm not worried about it falling out really. So I'm just going to hot glue that right in. And then I'm going to use a glue stick to glue my paper onto the foam core board. Now, if you wanted to make this a little more like waterproof, you definitely would want to Mod Podge over the top of your paper. Otherwise, I don't plan on putting anything liquidy or of that type onto my frames, so I didn't bother to Mod Podge it. Now, because these frames are a little wonky, the foam core board didn't fit in there perfectly, so I'm just using some of this lighter nautical rope from the Dollar Tree to create a border around the edge to hide the imperfections there. Next, I found these really cool cotton pods is what they're called. They come in a 4-pack. I hadn't seen these at my Dollar Tree before, so I had to pick them up. And they feel real, so I don't know, but they feel like they're real cotton pods. They're really cool. I love them. So anyhow, I'm just gluing that to the corner where the 2 pieces of twine or nautical rope meet. And then as a last kind of, the inspiration piece, I don't think had these little feet on it, but I wanted to add some little feet to my trays. So I'm just using these little square blocks that you can pick up in the crafter section or crafter square section at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to glue these right to the bottom to create a little bit of height to my trays. So the cost of the Kirklands is 60, or what was it, $59.99. And you can see what I paid for mine. So here is the second inspiration piece. And I'm just taking 2 of these Dollar Tree planters that I picked up in the springtime. And I am going to paint one in the folk art home decor chalk paint in the color sage, and then the other one will be the Waverly white chalk paint. Now I'm just going to use my crocodile tool to punch out the holes in the sides of my planters here. So if you don't know about a crocodile, they're pretty awesome. They cut, or like, they have a couple different hole settings, and you can punch them through just about anything. I mean, they'll punch through metal, plastic. They're really great. And then it's also, mine is a like deluxe one, so it's an eyelet setter and grommet setter as well. So I love this tool. I use it all the time. So basically I'm just punching 3 holes into this planter in, thirds. And then I'm just going to string some twine through from the back to the front, and I'm going to knot that out 3 times. So I used the smallest eyelet setting, which I think is an 1/8 inch hole. But I really wanted to make sure that my twine didn't come through, so I just triple knotted it. And then I'm just going to add 3 beads of 3 different sizes. These are just beads I picked up off of Amazon. And I decided after I put the beads on there that I wanted to create a knot so that they weren't sitting right down at the base. So I just created a knot so that they set up a little bit higher. And then I know you can't really see this, but what I'm doing is I am knotting the ends there. So $59.99 for Kirkland's and $2.50 for mine. I think that's a screaming deal. And for the third and final dupe, is that what we're calling these? Chic for cheaps? That's my inspiration. I'm taking this plastic measuring cup that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I don't even know how long ago. I've had it in my stash, not in my stash. I've had it in my kitchen for a while, but all the numbers and stuff are starting to really wear off of it. And so I decided that I was just going to use this to create my next piece. So I made a line around the whole base, and then I'm just using this heat. This is like a wood burning tool, and you can put, this is like so this one has, it's like an X-Acto knife, and it heats up. And I just carefully use that to cut the top portion of my measuring cup off. If you're going to use this method, make sure you are very careful and use it in a well-ventilated area, because the fumes coming off of this are pretty, plastic, burning plastic. It's not super great to breathe, so make sure you are in a ventilated area. And then obviously be careful because it's very hot. Next, I'm just taking some wire nippers that I have and some scissors to just, when you melt the plastic, it creates like a little lip kind of that was really rough. So I'm just going through and clipping those off as best as I can. And then I'm going to take some sandpaper and also sand the edges down. I don't want it to be too rough. You can't get it perfect if you use this method. So next I'm going to take these little jewels from the Dollar Tree. I don't know what they're called, but they're little like pearls, I guess, like flat pearls. And I'm just going to stick those right around the edge of my measuring cup, my cut measuring cup. This isn't in the inspiration piece, but I wanted to kind of create that lip that is in the inspiration, and this was my solution to that. So I'm just going to go all the way around on this part of it, and then I will go around on the base too. And I lost the footage for that, of course, my camera turned off, but I just went around the whole front. And then this is like a 5-ounce snack cup that you can get from Walmart. We use them, my girls like to eat chips and salsa, so they put salsa in theirs, and they're, you know, really nice little, or, you know, good little containers. They're not nice, they're just plastic containers, but it worked out perfectly for this, what I wanted to create here. So that is what that is. I'm just going to do 2 coats of white chalk paint all over both of these pieces, and then I'm going to take some black chalk paint and I'm going to create basically the lines on this bottom piece. They went just straight up and down, kind of all the way around. So that's what I'm doing, just taking a paintbrush and chalk paint and doing that. And then when I get all the way around, I'm going to dry off my brush a little bit, and I'm just going to dry brush right over the top of those little pearls. And I thought that gave this, you know, a fun little look. So next I'm going to do the top portion here, and these were kind of rounded off at the top, towards the top of the piece, and then went straight down. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm just painting on these little, I don't know what they are, but these little decorative elements, I guess. So I get this nice and speedy for you, so you don't have to sit through me painting. But I like to sometimes watch other people, like their process of painting something like this, so I can kind of see how they did it. So that's why I'm leaving this in here and just speeding it up. And then I just went all the way around the base in a circle, and then dry brushed over the top of those little pearls again on the top here. And then I decided that I wanted to paint the kind of lip black, so that's all I'm doing, is just taking a paintbrush and just going over it, not too concerned about full coverage, just getting some color on there to add some definition. And I did paint the inside of this container as well. Next, I'm just going to take some hot glue. I think this works pretty well because it's plastic on plastic, and yeah, so just lots and lots of hot glue here. Yeah, I'm just going to stick that right on top, just like that. Or on the bottom, whatever. And here's another look at our inspiration piece. This cost $169.99 at Kirkland's, and my cost was $1.75. Not too bad for a great price. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to stop by Kristin and Kristi's channels. Check them out. Christi is the host and Kristin is the co-host, and they make wonderful DIYs. So thank you very much. Have a blessed and safe and happy day. Talk to you later. Bye.